Netflix is now the go-to binge-worthy spot for those of us stuck at home. And unless you've been quarantined under a rock, you've definitely heard of Joe Exotic, aka the Tiger King. Netflix's latest popular docu-series focuses on the fascinating story of Joe Exotic, a mulleted, gun-toting, polygamous country western singer who happens to own hundreds of wild cats and animals at his Oklahoma roadside zoo. Oh, and did we mention he was also arrested for a murder-to-hire plot? Jaron Spohr talked with one of the stars of this series. He was actually a former manager of GW Zoo who is now back living in Texoma. So, Jaron, what's it been like for him since this aired?
Well, Melanie, John Ranke says his phone doesn't stop ringing, people knocking on his door. He can't go out in public, but he wouldn't change a thing. Just a heads up, some spoilers do follow.
His ego was his best friend.
That's how John Ranke describes his former boss, Joseph Maldonado Passage, better known as Joe Exotic. Ranke managed his zoo for nearly 15 years and is now reflecting on the turbulent world of big cat owners, now come to light in this jaw-dropping docu-series.
If you're an animal person, it's something that you would enjoy doing every day. I was there for the animals. I wasn't really there for the people.
According to Ranke, they filmed the Netflix series for 5 years. He says there was one incident that didn't make the series between one of Joe's husbands, Dylan, and business partner Jeff Lowe that he will never forget.
Jeff Lowe and Dylan Passage fought in the back parking lot in the gravel for 15 minutes. I'm talking about roll around. And I mean, Jeff Lowe's 56 and Dylan was 24 maybe. They held their own. I mean, that old guy held up to that 24-year-old, and I mean, it was a pretty good fight.
Other than owning a massive wildlife playground with lions, tigers, and bears, Joe Exotic was also a country singer.
I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger saw me.
Well, sort of.
As the time went on and he had his bout with Carol, his ego just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden, he started keeping notes, and all of a sudden he started turning them into songs. Well, to break everybody's heart, it's not him singing.
Joe Exotic was arrested in 2018 for trying to hire someone to murder Carol Baskin, an animal rights activist and owner of Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida, in 2017. He was sentenced to 22 years in a federal prison earlier this year, a crime Ranke says is out of character, even for the Tiger King.
I was kind of shocked that Joe would actually go that far, because it's not him. But the more I read, the more I heard, and the more I seen, yeah, I mean, somebody provoked him to go that far.
Exotic claims he was framed. In your opinion, did he do it, or was he framed?
I think he was framed. Did he say he wanted to kill her? 9 million times. All of us did. I mean, she was suing all of us at one time in federal court, and it was just crazy. But that doesn't mean we're going to go out and do it. I don't think he'd ever done it if somebody wasn't poking him in the back.
What lies ahead for the Tiger King is uncertain, but it's a story that will be talked about amongst all you cool cats and kittens for years to come. Well, last week, Exotic filed a federal lawsuit against a number of government agencies and his former business partner to the tune of $94 million in damages. Exotic is asking for $15 million for false arrest, false imprisonment, selective enforcement, and the death of his mother. For Ranke, he's back home in Burke-Burnett, working on cars, but says he still has a passion for big cats and other exotic animals.
Darren, it is a crazy, crazy story. Can't get enough of it, though. It is binge-worthy. But thank you so much for that story. That is pretty awesome.